There is the tunnel to Whittier that we're going to take tomorrow. I guess that tunnel is 2.5 miles long. If it's the right tunnel, it goes through to the other side of the mountain. Here's Amber trying to get another cameo appearance. I can't believe it. What a freaking camera hog. It is a windy, cool day. It's not terrible, but there's a little bit of rain. You can see all those waterfalls running down the side of the mountain over there.
Started laughing uncontrollably at me. The dads also started laughing at me. That's when we started to the point where I was not going to come to work today. If you happen to go through the Starboard
Cameo,
side,
cameo.
you will get exciting photographs of Portage area, including on the bottom right-hand corner, a absolutely remarkably stellar photograph.
We'll see how waterproof my broken screen is.
The dock that we just left. So you can feel free. Just don't. Mountains, informing valleys. Valleys that we call V-shaped valleys, and we call them that because, well, they're shaped like a V. Now, I just started doing this a couple weeks ago when they took me out for the first time to show me all the cool stuff I have to talk. It's also a door to you regular folks. And you notice something amiss in the head or bathroom. Perhaps what should be going down the sewage disasters, and we do of course own our skills. You can feel free to tell me that the person before you did it, but to be honest, we know the truth, so it's up to you. God's pretty cool with the name of it, and he told me, I don't know. So now that was 2 weeks ago, and I live in Anchorage now, and so since then I've spent my 3 nights wandering the streets, and when I meet or talk to, I ask them, what the name of this waterfall is, and thus far the few names they've gotten, I can't share with you because we have somebody who's 90-pound man under guests on board. So this morning I decided it's St. George's waterfall. The name of the street appeared in my head, but I think it's appropriate. So interesting note for the crash. Before I started doing this here, I spent the previous 9 months in Rochester, New York. No, there's no prison there. I spent at the Eastern Kodak Institute of Picture Taking, where I learned to operate and all cell cameras. There was a small but somewhat aggressive family of Yetis and an abundance of White Walkers roaming this area. So it was not safe. In addition to those creatures, if you look at the glacier, you'll see that there's a lot of fissures and cracks, some crevices. So looking at the glacier from far away, it's pretty cool. It gives you an idea of perspective, and of dirt and rock and debris and stuff like that. Now, the medial moraines, not every glacier has those. They're formed in a specific way. So if you can imagine two glaciers and they're sliding down their own respective valleys, and they meet at some point, kind of like a Y meets. Well, when they meet each other, they may decide that they like each other, and they might want to form a permanent union, or maybe you'll get married or what have you. And should they decide that, then what happens is they merge together and form like one super glacier, or Mr. and Mrs. instead of Mr. and Miss Glacier. And then so those lateral moraines, two of them will be touching each other with the good sense and decency to act like every other form of rock and sink to the bottom of the water. It stays floating in the water. It increases the turbidity. See, I use a fancy word of the water. That's bad enough. However, it gets worse, and this is why I keep it locked up, because you see now, once every 10 years, we are allowed to have a sunny day.